Guys, welcome back to Broken Journey, the podcast. I am your host, Elba. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're having a wonderful day so far. So, guys, today I have another special guest for my Her Stories, and her name is Shaniece Nieves. Hi, Shaniece. And today's topic is going to be journey of living with blindness, right? And I'm
hmm
so excited for you to tell your story. So before we get started about that, I wanted you to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Shaniece. I am 34 years old. I am a mom to three children, ages 16, 13, and 3. I was diagnosed with a condition called retinitis pigmentosa at the age of 5. Um, and I've been legally blind my entire life. And just now, recently, maybe the past 3 years, I realized that I'm actually blind. So my entire life, I lived life thinking that I could see more than what
Yeah.
I actually can. And finding friends who are also visually impaired is how I realized, wait a minute, I'm blind too. So now I'm like living, life through this journey of figuring out what my condition is, how my vision is, and navigating and learning how to accept that and teach it to other people.
Yes, that's important. And it's funny because I was looking at resources and things like that, and I was looking up blindness. And, a lot of people think that blindness is just you can't see, right?
Right.
And
Mhm.
there are so many different parts of being blind, right?
Yeah.
And I saw some that said partially blind is a
Mhm.
person that can see some vision, right?
Yes.
Then they
Yes.
have the completely blind, a person cannot see or detect light. And
Mhm.
then congenital blindness, a person has poor vision at birth.
Mhm.
So I know from watching you on YouTube, I mean, not on
Mhm.
YouTube,
On TikTok.
on TikTok, that you have friends as well who are blind and you all have different conditions. Do you want to talk
Yes.
a little bit more about your condition so that people can
Okay.
understand more?
Okay, I have a condition called retinitis pigmentosa. It is a genetic degenerative condition that causes severe blindness over time. It also is total night blindness. So, like what you were saying, some people have total blindness, which is
Right.
when you see nothing, no light, no shadows, nothing. I have that at night. So at nighttime, I can't see absolutely anything but light at that time.
Okay.
And typically, people with my condition lose vision at different ways for different people. Luckily for me, I've been blessed to it's been going away slowly. I haven't really realized how much I've been losing.
Right.
But I guess the older you get, the more anxious you get from just like life experiences. So I feel like I've
Right.
been more anxious, and as a kid, I was a little more unaware of dangers and things like that. So
Right.
I didn't think that I couldn't see as much then because I didn't understand. But now, um, it's starting. I'm starting to notice it. And as
Right.
far as my friends, I have friends who were born with their conditions, and also friends who developed their blindness through different things like diabetes, birth control,
Oh,
lack
wow.
of oxygen.
Okay.
And some people just don't even know at all how they became blind. One day they just woke up and couldn't see.
And couldn't see.
Hmm.
Wow. That's scary. That's scary.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. And it's crazy because, people don't realize that,
Hmm.
how do you say that? They don't appreciate, right? The
Yes.
things that they have,
You
just
don't.
like
Yeah.
the simple things like, being
Hmm.
able to
The little
see.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of joke about like I said, I learned a lot about my vision from the women who went blind later on in life because they actually have they can tell the difference because they once had full vision to
Right.
then having less vision, they were able to talk to the ones who never had full vision and tell us the different things. So I didn't know that I was colorblind.
Right.
And like all disabilities, blindness, color blindness, it's all a spectrum. And we
Right.
do hear spectrum a lot when it comes to the autism community, but we don't hear it a lot with the other disabilities. And
Right.
the way I like to talk about what spectrum is of blindness is, like you said, it's low vision, which is when you're not legally blind yet.
Right.
And then
Right.
there's total blindness, which is when you see blackness. But there's even a thing under that where you see completely nothing at
Right.
all. And that's people who may have lost their eyes due to cancers and things like that, which I have met someone like that as well. So
Okay.
he doesn't have any eyeballs. So, of course, there's no blackness. It's literally
Right.
nothing.
Nothing.
And the way he describes it is kind of like, there's a door behind you, but you can't see it, but
Right.
it's there, like just
Right.
non-existent. Um, and
Does
so when I
it
think about
heightens your other
the
senses?
other senses, you learn to
Okay.
use everything else. Yes, like your ears, and my kids say I
Yeah.
have fox ears. Like you hear everything that's going on, and I'm just like I can't help it. But it's all equal to, we all have the same senses. We just
Right.
use some of them more than others. It doesn't
Right.
change. It does change. We learn to use more once you lose
Right.
one,
Right.
but it's not super, because people say we have super hearing because we don't have vision. But you could have it too if you just learn to
To
use
use
that,
it. Right. Right. Exactly. And then
But
you
yes.
you heighten those other senses
Hmm.
because you know that there's one that's failing, right? So
Yes.
yeah.
And so the
Wow.
spectrum of blindness is, even with each condition, has its own spectrum of their condition. My
Right.
condition it's called tunnel vision, and they like
Okay.
to say it's like looking through a straw, where we
Oh,
lose all the peripheral vision. So right now you can kind of see me moving my hands around my eyes. I
yes.
can't see my hands at all until I get to maybe like to this point in this eye, then
Right.
probably over here in this eye.
Right.
But for me, it's more like looking through a toilet paper roll. I feel
Okay.
like it's a little bigger for me.
Right.
Whereas I had someone who's like maybe a year younger than me, who she lost vision in one eye completely,
Okay.
and has the straw like vision in the other eye. So even there's a spectrum within the spectrum, you know.
Right. Yes,
And
and is there's layers to everything. So
yes,
it's
it's like
not
a
just
rainbow. But
yeah.
every color has different colors of its color, from light to dark. That's how I like to describe how
Right.
vision is and stuff.
Yes, yes, and it's good because people can understand it better
Hmm.
when it's when you're trying to see it visually, right?
Yes,
In
exactly.
your mind,
Visualize
in your
it.
mind, right? Trying to understand it in your
Hmm.
mind, right? And
Yes.
so when were you diagnosed with your condition?
I was diagnosed at 5 years old. I actually remember going to the doctor and them telling my mom, and then her having to go to a specialist, and
Right.
being so little and going to the specialist. She dressed me up really pretty. We had just moved from New York to Florida.
Okay.
So she took me to a specialist, and they did the test on me. But of course, I didn't realize what was happening. It was, at
Right,
that
because you
point,
were
I've been
so
to the eye
young.
doctor so many times.
Right.
It was just like a regular, you know. And then
Yeah.
the diagnosis, she told me I'm legally blind. The teachers, the doctors, whoever, they all just said, "You're legally blind. You have this condition. You're gonna go blind," and that was it. So at 5 years old, I heard that, didn't understand it, of course,
Right.
and I was left with just not,
What do I
okay,
do?
whatever that means.
Right, exactly. Not a good explanation on how, and
Yep.
how to handle it either because, obviously you're 5 or 6 years old, you
Hmm.
don't know exactly what that means,
And in
right?
kindergarten, the words and books and things like that are bigger or larger print.
Right.
So I don't think it affected me as far as reading until I got in second grade. That's when I got my first magnifying glass,
Okay.
to be able to read in class. And then I got my first vision teacher who would come twice a week to help me with, with work. But even that teacher didn't teach me about blindness. So it was kind of still like, okay, I mean, I know I can't see as good as the other kids, but
Right.
I don't get it still.
Right. The system needs to do better. They
Right.
really need to do better because,
Yes.
you know, one thing to explain to a parent, and then is
Right.
another thing to explain to a child. And a child,
Yes.
you have to kind of get yourself to that level so that they can understand what's happening.
Mhm.
And, if you don't understand, you're just gonna keep going like
Yes.
if you don't understand what's going on, you just keep
Mhm.
going and
It
not
def
understanding the condition.
There should definitely be more resources. I feel like parents, they didn't tell my mom much of anything either besides, what it was. And of course
Right,
back then there wasn't really internet like that. There wasn't, you know, ways to find out what these things were besides, going to the libraries and things like that at
right.
that point. But so she didn't
Yeah.
really know much either, of
Mhm.
course. And I can only imagine how that must have felt from her point. Like she just
Right.
wanted me to feel normal, whatever that is.
Right. Yes, I get it. Yeah. And she
Yeah.
didn't, as a parent, and I'm sure because you
Hmm.
have 3 kids, you don't
Yes,
want you don't want your kids to suffer, right? So I
exactly.
I think maybe, and I can't talk for your mom because she has her own feelings, but I feel like you know it's hard to explain to your child and then to have to
Hmm.
deal with the emotions as well
Right.
as what did I do, or how can I help her, how can I make this
Hmm.
change and stuff like that. That has to be hard.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, yes. Okay, and so as a child, when as you were going through school, because you went to a regular school, right?
Yes.
Okay, so while you were going to regular school, did you feel embarrassed? Did you feel, ashamed of your condition because, you were in a
Yes.
regular school?
Definitely. I guess, typically when you have a child with disabilities, they tend to put that child in special classes,
Right,
special education classes. And of course, they did ask my mom if she would like to do that. But of course, my mom said no, there's nothing wrong with her developmentally or anything like that. It's just
right.
basically a physical disability. So, of course, I was in general education classes my entire life.
Okay.
But of course, insecurities, come the older you get, the more other kids notice your
Right.
differences. The biggest thing was for me was, of course, my thick glasses, having glasses that are thick, and kids kind of, poking fun at that. It happened maybe one time in third grade. Of course, I told my mom,
Right.
and she came to the school, and the boy got in trouble. So it never happened again in elementary school, or just, never happened. Honestly, it never happened again in my life. But I still kind of
Right.
felt that at that point people noticed and would stare.
Right.
I think for a long time I wouldn't look at people in their eyes because I
Okay.
didn't want them to notice my glasses.
Right.
I did have tools, like I said, to read, like the magnifying glass. There's a
Right.
thing called a CCTV, which is basically a computerized magnifying glass where you would put the
Okay.
paper under it and then it would magnify it on a computer screen.
Okay.
And they would try to get me to use that too,
Right.
but it was just, the kids coming up to me, oh, what is that? Oh my god, it makes it so large. Wow, it's so big. Your papers are so big.
Right.
They gave me books that were at that time the size of like teacher books, so they were
Right.
bigger than the desk. So
Oh
all
my
those things
gosh.
were like, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm different. I don't want to
Right.
be different. I want to be like
Right.
everybody else. So of
Right.
course that caused a lot of insecurities. I think fifth grade is when they gave me my first cane and
Okay.
let the vision place tell it. I threw the cane down the stairs, but
Okay.
I mean, I don't think I would have done anything like that on purpose. But
Right.
even when they gave me the cane, I was like, I don't need this. I can see. I didn't
Right.
understand still. I didn't know about
Right.
the lower peripheral vision that I don't have, which is why I trip on things all the time.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't need this. And I kind of joked about it. I would show
Right.
people like, look at this, isn't this silly? But
Right.
yes,
And
through
also,
school,
yeah,
it was,
and I feel like maybe you weren't accepting it, right?
no, not at all.
And yeah, and then you were probably saying, "You know what? I don't wanna do this. I don't wanna feel different from
Hmm.
everybody else."
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. I wanted to
Yeah.
be cool. I wanted to be cute. That's
Right.
not cute. That's not cool. Honestly, I just didn't want to. I didn't want people to notice me at all. So I
Right.
kind of was very quiet.
Mhm.
Not
Very
that
shy.
wasn't my natural self. That was just
Right.
a way to kind of hide myself.
Right.
And then like the disabled community, we call it masking, which is
Yes.
when you pretend to be abled to
Right.
you pretend to be able to see when you can't see. So people will point and be like, "Oh, look at that over there," and you pretend, "Oh yeah, I see it," when you really don't see it at all. So I did
Right.
a lot of that my entire
Okay.
life.
All right. Yeah, I know that has to be a hard situation where,
Hmm.
you know, people don't understand and so they'll tell you, "Hey, check this out," or "Hey, do
Hmm.
this," or and all this other stuff, not realizing again, you know, it's something that people don't understand, and
Hmm.
instead of getting educated on it,
Right.
they'll poke fun of it, or they'll say,
Hmm.
what's the problem and all this other stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I know it had to be difficult for you during that
Yeah.
time.
And the dynamics of the families were
Right.
totally different. My
Yeah.
mom's side they weren't accepting of it.
Right.
It kind of was like there's nothing wrong. She can see, she's
Oh.
fine. Whereas
Right.
my dad's side was more like, oh no, let's baby her. Let's hide her away. She can't do anything for herself. So it was
Right.
kind of hard to figure out which. I mean, of course, I like the mom side more because it made me feel more normal. Like, okay,
Right.
well, yeah, nothing wrong
Right.
than feeling like a baby and feeling really
Right.
disabled. But that
Right.
was also hard. It didn't help that they were
Right.
two different kind
Because
of
either way, it was like you were hiding
exactly
in either parents' family,
right.
right?
It was like
One
trying to
side was
prove
like, "Oh,
something.
let me baby her, make sure she does nothing happens to her," and then the
Yeah,
other side is like, "Girl, let's go, get it
get
done."
out there. Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So, as a mom of three,
Hmm.
how do you handle the responsibilities of caring for your children? Right? Like cooking and all that other stuff.
Well, I think that growing up, I was kind of always very honest with myself, thinking about the future, things that I probably won't be able to do, like become a doctor or drive. Those are like the realistic things that I knew would never happen.
Right.
But of course, I knew I could be a mom because I feel
Right.
like that's one thing that no matter if you have a disability, it doesn't affect how you can love or
Yes.
take care or nurture a child.
Right.
And I played with dolls for a very long time. So I became pregnant at 17. I was very young, but
Okay.
it was the best thing for me at that time. I was so happy. And that actually, my first child, my daughter,
Yes.
uh, she changed my life with independence, making me want to
Right.
be more independent, making me want to just learn things. So when it comes to
Right.
cooking,
Mhm.
um, with cooking, basically, if you give me a recipe, I would do it slower. Like, let's say chicken, because meat is one of the things you undercook it, you could get sick, especially chicken.
Right.
So, people would probably fry chicken faster. I would take it a little slower.
Right.
And with the help of my mom, of course, I learned that when it's cooked, it floats up to the top when you're frying it, or
Right.
it stops making so much noise once it's cooked all the way through. So those
Okay.
little tips from, experiences with stuff, because of course, when you first start cooking, like anybody,
Yes.
you kind of make your mistakes and you learn from
Of
them.
course. Yes. We
But
all do. I know I burned some.
exactly.
Even when I
Those are the
moved from New
experiences.
York here, like New York has the gas stoves.
Right.
And then I came here to Florida and I was
Totally different.
burning my rice like nobody's business. I was like, I used
Yeah.
to have to make rice 2 times and I'm like, I don't
Hmm.
understand what's going on.
Yeah. It's like learning like that.
Right.
We adapt. That's one of the things we
Yes.
learn to adapt. We know how to adapt from birth, honestly,
Yes.
because before that I was diagnosed, I was still a toddler who couldn't see. So I
Right.
just adapted to everything around me, and I just learned from trying. That's the only thing you can
Right.
do is just try and figure it out as you practice. As far
Exactly.
as cleaning and things like that, that can be a little more difficult. But they
Okay.
do have different techniques that they teach blind people how to do that. When you're sweeping, go from corner to corner, kind of bring it all into the middle.
Right.
There's so many different. Now we have vacuums that run by themselves, right? That just kind of
Yes.
go over the floor. So
Right.
it's as life goes on, there are new ways and things that are accessible to people with vision loss. But as
Right.
far as taking care of my kids, I mean, I don't know if it's fair to say that I still have enough functioning vision
Right.
to physically still change, diapers and stuff
Right.
like that. Um, but I can't recognize my children if they were walking down the street. I wouldn't notice them because
Okay.
facial features are hard to recognize.
Okay.
It's kind of like people all look the same until they
Right.
get close enough, then they change.
Right.
So when they would get off the bus, of course, they would have specific things on. Maybe it was the hair was different,
Okay.
but of course, when I had my son, that was a little different because he's a
You're
boy,
right.
and so I see a little light skinned boy wearing a red shirt. I think that's my son, and it
You're like,
wouldn't be.
he's
And I'm
my
like, oh,
son.
and I just don't move.
Right.
My kids learned from a very young age that I can't see. My daughter was 4 when I told
Okay.
her that mommy has bad eyes. So
Okay.
she took on that, oh, I want to help my mom. I want to do things for my mom. I
Nice.
understand in a way.
Right.
With my son, it was a little older because he's, I guess, a boy. And,
Yeah.
so I probably
Boys
told
take
him
time.
more. Yeah, he was, not mature enough until he was maybe
Right.
9, 10 years old.
Right.
Now he's learning and understanding and helping. So,
Right.
they adapt. They only know me the way I am. They don't know
Right.
any other way. So,
Right.
yeah.
And it's great that they help you too. Now that
Yes.
they're older, and then you have the little one. She's 2 or
Yes.
3?
She's 3.
She's 3? Oh my god,
Mhm.
time goes by fast.
Yeah.
3 already. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
And
That's
she
cool.
actually was just diagnosed with autism. So
Okay.
it's now like a new struggle as a mom, I want to say as a blind mom,
Right.
because I worry about she's nonverbal, so she does
Okay.
not have any kind of communication skills right now, and I
Right.
worry because of course they teach them sign language, which is how am I gonna see
Right.
that? Like,
Right.
so it's something that I struggle with and I worry about moving forward and
Okay.
pray, that I still have enough vision to be
Right.
able to still take care of her as long as I can and things like that. It's just another kind of thing that I'm gonna have to go through with
Right.
my disability and now with my child who has a disability.
Right. Right. I know you can do it. You can get it done.
Yeah.
I know you
thank
can. Yeah, and I'm gonna pray for your daughter that she gets to
thank you.
speak. You're welcome. Yes, because at least you being able to hear her, that'll
Hmm.
help you a lot. Right?
Yes.
And has the
Exactly.
doctor said that, she will be able to speak, or they're not sure yet?
Well, they really don't know. All they can do is therapies, which she's been in for a couple months now. She
Okay.
does make all the sounds. I think that for her right now is not understanding that those sounds make words and words
Right.
create action. I don't think she understands, and once she can understand, which may
Right.
just be a mature thing, because they range from different ages. Basically,
Right.
like she might be 3 physically,
Right.
but
Mentally,
development wise,
she's like, yeah, she's a little
like one
younger.
years old. So like
Right.
maybe the older she gets, the more. Honestly, I just want her to be able to say I'm hurt, I'm
Right.
hungry,
Right.
and that's pretty much it.
Right.
Everything else is fine, but I just want
Right.
the important stuff.
Yes, of course, of course. Yeah, you wanna be able to know what's going on, because
Yeah.
of the fact that, she's still young and she's
Mhm.
still learning, how to do
Yeah.
things and stuff like that. That's important. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Okay, let's see. I have another question. Could you share with us your experience of being part of a friends group? Um, that is called the Sisterhood of the Traveling Canes.
Yes. Okay, so the Sisterhood of the Traveling Canes was created or founded back in 2021. There was a young lady by the name of Victoria Farr who came onto TikTok and said that she is in need of blind friends. And if anyone thinks it's a good idea, message her, leave a comment, and she's going to create these groups, one for men, one for women, and one for everyone to come together, and also a mom's group specifically. All
Right.
I said was, that sounds great. I never thought I would be chosen or picked. At this time, I'm probably only at 300 followers, right? So I'm just like, I mean, that sounds cool. And I think at this time it was a lot of blind creators coming out onto
Right.
TikTok, which is amazing.
Yes.
Um, so many people chose to go into these different groups. She put them in. And as soon as I got in there, the first thing I thought was, you going in here, be yourself. Don't
Yes.
be afraid. This is it. This is the time that you need this. You need to meet other blind people.
Right.
So I was the first to speak, and then, and I don't even think everybody was in there yet. But but it started off with maybe 20 moms, and then it slowly went down to 10 moms. We talked every single day, all day. We
Okay.
cried together about
Oh.
the small things, like things that people with vision wouldn't think were big. Like one of
Right.
our friends, she dropped rice on the floor, white rice on the floor, and of
Okay.
course she was like, "Oh my God, how am I gonna pick it up? I can't see it." And
Yes.
so we kind of related in those different ways, and crying about those things. And a lot of
Right.
us, none of us can drive. So we all
Right.
just at home, um,
Mhm.
kind of miserable. We live our
Right.
lives through our children. We don't really get to
Right.
do much. It wasn't until one person said, "I'm so sick of these kids. I need a vacation." And everybody was like, "What? Me too." And so,
Right.
and so they're like,
Right.
"Okay." This was May. um, well, they were like, "Okay, let's go in June. No, let's
Yeah.
go in July or something like that."
Yeah.
I was like, that sounds great, but I'm actually going on a trip in June. I don't think I can do that.
Right.
So they were like, "Okay, well, maybe July is too quick. Let's do August." And everybody was like, "Okay, let's do it."
Right.
And
Yes,
so
that's
we met up
awesome.
in August.
Right. And I see in TikTok how you guys have traveled so many places. So
Yeah,
talk a little bit about that. Like other places where you guys have gone. I know that there was one um for
yeah,
one thing, you guys travel alone, right? You guys
right.
don't
We
have
meet up.
any
Mhm.
assistance or anything like that.
Yes. Well, we
Okay.
do get the assistance in the airport,
Right, right,
but
right.
you know,
But I
we
mean
we don't
like
bring
when you
family.
girls are together.
Right, right, right.
Right.
So,
So go ahead.
when they came, the first trip was to Florida. They
Okay.
came to Panama City, and I was happy because,
That's
mind
close to
you,
you.
I don't want to go on a plane. I'm not ready. I'm still scared.
Right,
So I was happy that I could be driven to Panama City. It's only 2 hours away.
right,
So I was excited that, okay, well, my boyfriend just dropped me off. Everybody
right,
else got to take the plane, and a lot
right.
of them, majority of them, had never been on a plane by themselves,
Oh my gosh.
ever.
Okay,
And some of them were newly, like, visually impaired, maybe 2 years in. So
okay.
one came from Alaska, Anisha. Hi, Anisha. I'm sure you're gonna watch it.
Yes,
But she came way from
Alexa. Oh my
Alaska,
gosh. Wow.
and so of course that for her is like a whole 24-hour kind of
Right,
flight. So
right.
she was very, very scared. Luckily, she was able to meet up with one of our other sisters in Chicago,
Okay,
Amanda, Amanda's definitely the person that I look up to,
okay,
who she went blind in her 30s. She's now in her mid 40s.
okay.
And she just embraces it. She just embraces life,
Right,
loves life, and she's an inspiration to a lot of us. So seeing her, I know that meant a lot for Anisha, because it was like a big comfort. Like, okay, well, Amanda's
right,
traveling, everywhere, so I'm okay with her.
right.
So once we met in Panama City, it was kind of, it was just crazy. We were just
Right.
talking and now actually seeing all these women. And in my perspective, I had the quote unquote better vision.
Okay.
And the better vision just meaning I have central vision, whereas a
Right.
lot of them have peripheral vision. And it is, of course, hard to see from the
Right.
side. So,
Right.
um, but at nighttime, of course, then, we all had our pros and cons. Some of them see
Right.
way better at night, but we
Right.
all helped each other. And
That's
being able
awesome.
to walk across the street with blind women confidently, them being confident using their canes.
Right.
I didn't think I needed a cane yet. I knew I
Mm.
needed one. I didn't understand yet, but I didn't
Right.
have one then. But of
Right.
course, through a couple years, I ended up getting one.
Right.
And of course, that group, like any other women's group, most of the time we kind of got less and less women. So we went from 10 down to 5 right now.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
the best of the 5 for sure.
Yes. And at least, you know what? This is what I always say. When God brings people together,
Hmm.
right? Those who need to be together will stay together
Exactly.
regardless, right? And
Exactly.
so that's amazing that you guys are still together. You guys
Mhm.
still travel together. What other cities did you guys go?
Well, Panama City of Florida. The next one we went to was Atlanta.
Okay.
We went with just the other ladies, other blind women who were not moms.
Okay.
Literally, probably 2 weeks after that, we went to Austin, Texas, for one of the
Oh,
girls' weddings.
nice,
And
nice.
then I went to South Carolina to Myrtle Beach with one of the sisters for her birthday.
Okay.
And then again I went to Dallas. No, wait, no, we
Nice.
went to Jersey. We went to Jersey first.
Okay.
And then we went to New York, of course.
To New York City, yes.
Yeah. And
I
then
seen those pictures. You guys are all together. You guys took
yeah,
the
it was really
train.
nice. They really loved that.
Right.
We had more time, but they really loved it. They really enjoyed it. And it was yet again like another eye opener because we were walking and they would all have their canes because I still wasn't ready yet.
Right.
People would be like, they're faking it. They're faking it. They're not blind. They're
Oh
not acting.
no.
And it's like, who's gonna be
The-
walking out here with these
right.
canes like
We're
this?
just doing this for fun.
This
Like,
is
what is
definitely
your
not fun.
problem?
So that was, is another way to bring us together. But
Right.
and then again, I went to Dallas, and then I went to Houston. So I went a lot to Texas. I'm done with
Right.
Texas right now. And here in June, we're actually going to San Diego. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's awesome. That's
mm,
good. Do you guys know anybody over there, or you're just going as a group
no,
of five?
we just picked it, and we try to. Before it was supposed to be going to each other's states,
Right.
because we lost so many women.
Right.
Kind of like, okay, well, let's just do places that we've never done before. So
Right.
San
That's
Diego's one of the
amazing.
places.
Yes, that's amazing. That's
Hmm.
good. Because, regardless of anything, going out and experiencing something is better than, not,
Exactly.
right? Or
Yes.
letting your condition
Hmm.
be a handicap to you,
Exactly.
right? Because obviously you know that you have this condition. Obviously you
Hmm.
know that you're dealing with it, but that doesn't mean that you have to stay locked up at home. It
Exactly.
doesn't mean that you have to like not do anything, right? So
Hmm.
that's so inspiring that there are
Yeah.
so many that you guys got that group together.
And it's also
And
like, spreading awareness because when do you really
yes,
see 10 women, 10 blind women or people just
right.
walking down the street? It's very
That's right.
odd. It's different.
Yes,
So it's like, oh, wow. That's why it's unbelievable. There's
right.
no way that, all these people are blind. I've never seen so many
Right.
blind people together.
Right. And it's amazing and it's so good. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy that
Thank
you guys
you.
are experiencing that. You guys are doing, so many things to
Hmm.
help other people understand
Yeah.
what your condition is and
Hmm.
how people can relate you
Yes.
know because I'm sure that there's more people out there who are feeling how you were feeling, where you
Exactly.
were feeling afraid, you didn't understand it, you
Hmm.
didn't know whether you wanted to get into this group,
Exactly.
and stuff like that. But, having that community is kind of like, any other community where, they have regular, like, moms who are like, have
Hmm.
depression and stuff like that,
Right. Exactly.
so
Exactly.
it's, there's so many things out there, that so many opportunities right out there, that
Hmm.
can help. And I'm happy that you are here sharing your story about it,
Yes. Thank
because
you.
yes, because a lot of people don't understand that,
Yeah.
right? And
It's yeah, blindness is I am, I could be biased because I'm blind, but I
right.
feel like it's the least talked about disability. Um,
Yes.
it's definitely something that people, like for example, people say that Stevie Wonder, oh, he can see, he caught the microphone, he can see. Well,
But
yes, he may actually be able to see a little bit. Doesn't mean that he's
right,
not blind, So
right.
it's something that people need to understand, need to learn. Blindness is also kind of like a joke. It's like it's okay
Wow.
to say, "Oh, I'm blind without my glasses," or
Right.
"Oh, I didn't see that I'm blind," or to tell someone else, "You are you blind or something?" Those
Right.
things are actually unkind in a way. Of course, some
Of
people don't,
course.
feel that way, but personally, I
Right.
do feel like that's something that shouldn't be kind of done because it's
As a
like,
joke, yeah, it shouldn't
yeah,
be joked
it doesn't
about.
take it
Yeah.
serious. Just like deaf, people say
Yes.
"I'm deaf," and
Right.
there's this hard of hearing, but
Right.
there's definitely things that I have a friend, he's paraplegic and blind, and I
Okay.
kind of laugh with him about this because I say it's not like someone's gonna say, "Oh my God, I'm so in love, I'm paraplegic, I can't walk." You know what I mean? But you'll
Right.
say,
That's right.
I'm so in love, I'm blind." You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Yes. Yes.
it's like,
It's
oh, we can say
true.
this, but
Right. And it's offensive, because
yeah,
you,
it
as a
can
person
definitely,
who is dealing with that condition, you
yes,
know, you understand exactly what's going on, and how
hmm,
it affects you personally,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
people definitely should
Definitely
understand.
be mindful because I've heard,
Right.
been to stores. Of course, I wasn't using my cane, but hearing someone say, "Oh my God, I didn't see that there. I must be blind or something," and it's
Right.
like, if only he knew,
Right.
like,
Yes. Like, if
it
only
makes me
you
that.
knew that you
Yes,
have the
a
privilege,
present
right? The privilege.
and I think one of the things that we complain about a lot is people who wear glasses say,
Right.
"Oh, I feel you. I understand you because without my glasses, I can't see. I'm blind too." And what I
Right.
like to tell those people is, well, without your glasses, with my glasses, it's still
Do.
worse than what you're
Right.
seeing without your glasses.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because, when you take them off, it gets your
yeah.
condition gets worse.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I lose like detail a lot, but I
Yeah.
am lucky to still be able to have correctional vision, of course.
Right. Right. That's good. Yeah. But that's definitely something that people should, pay
Mhm.
more attention to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because
And
not all blind people use canes. Not
right.
not everyone is. We don't. The stereotype is canes and sunglasses, and that's
Right.
not always true. Like I said, I wear regular
That's
glasses.
right.
So
Right.
um,
Yeah.
and I
It's
know a few
true.
that do. So you wouldn't
Right.
notice if I'm
Right.
just
And yeah, and people don't understand, like I said earlier, and you explained too,
Mhm.
that there's different kinds of blindness, right?
Exactly. Yes.
And so people have to understand that, those are there are differences, and
Hmm.
educate yourselves on it, so that you can be more sympathetic to people who are
Hmm.
dealing with this condition, right?
Yes. Definitely.
Right. Yeah. And I know that you also have a TikTok account where you talk about your condition. You
Yes.
do videos all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. I do a little
And
dancing.
yeah, you're dancing and you're
That's my way
twerking. I
to.
see you twerking, girl.
This is my way to raise awareness. Get the guys.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I love that. And then you know what I also like to when I see your videos, how you like when you're unpacking things when you shop and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And even though you can't see the coloring, you
Exactly.
still can feel it. You can see a little bit
Right.
of the design, which is cool, and how you purchase stuff with, for your daughter, your little
Uh-huh.
daughter,
And I tell you,
Charlie,
I love
right?
that
Charlie?
because when I tell you I don't know any of those, I don't know what color it is. So I'll be like, oh, this is either pink or red or pink or
Right.
orange.
Right. Yes. So when it comes to that, you see, like, let's say it's red or it's orange or it's yellow. Do you see like different shades, like of gray?
Okay, so that's another I guess stereotype of color blindness, right? Is
Okay.
that when you're colorblind, you only see black and white and gray. But that's
Okay.
also not true.
Okay.
Color blindness can be specific to certain shades, certain colors,
Okay.
different varieties, or just some people do only see black and white, right? So
Okay.
I've met at least three people that, well, a lot of people actually, that a few of my blind friends are colorblind. Um,
Right.
what happened was, how I found out was, my friend Victoria, like I said earlier, she was saying how the color green is something that she struggles with. So when she goes outside and she sees the grass and she sees the trees, it's now they're orange. Like it's like fall
Okay.
all the time for her. And
Okay.
she went to the store and picked a shirt and she thought the shirt was so cute. And she's like, oh my God, look at this orange shirt. Isn't it cute? And her mom was like, that's green.
Oh, okay.
So that for me was like, wait a minute, all my life I
Right.
thought the grass was gray. And
Okay.
people would always say green, and I'm like, how? This doesn't look like green on the crayon. This is
Right.
I'm so confused, but it is how I see the
Right.
color green. Army green is gray.
Okay.
Um, but green is also blue. So I don't see green.
Okay.
I have no green in my rainbow. You can take that completely away. Um,
Okay.
I have no purple. I
Okay.
cannot see purple. Purple is brown,
Okay.
red, or gray, depending
Okay.
on, or blue, depending on the kind of purple,
The
um,
shade of it,
the
right? Because
shade of purple,
because the
like
purple can be a
lilac and
light
light gray.
purple. Right, right,
I tease my friend all the time because that's one of her favorite colors is lilac purple, and I'm like, you mean
right.
gray? It's such a boring color.
Right.
Um, and when it comes to red or pink, red, yellow, blue is blue.
Okay,
Blue is green is blue, blue is blue. So everything is blue. I see blue perfectly fine,
okay,
even if it's green. When
okay,
it comes to red and yellow, that's where it gets difficult because everything is red and yellow, but there's pink, and pink can be red or yellow or orange. You know what I mean? Like different shades
yes,
of pink can be yellow or white. Different shades of yellow can be brown.
okay,
So it's like I don't really see the colors orange. Well, I don't see the color orange or pink. I have none of that.
okay.
Um, but the funny thing is, my favorite color is hot pink. And it always has been. And it wasn't,
Okay,
yet again, learning from another blind person. Now this one is totally blind. Her name is Angie. She
okay.
said her favorite color is purple. She's never seen the color purple. She doesn't understand. She doesn't know what that is. She just knows it sounds pretty.
Great.
Purple
Okay,
sounds pretty. And I sat and was like, that's that's weird. Like,
right,
what do you
right.
mean? And then when I thought about it, I can't see the color hot pink. To me, in reality, that's orange, right?
Okay,
So when I think about what pink means to me, it I love Barbies, for a
okay.
very time. And
Yes,
Barbies represented femininity,
right,
being soft, pretty, and I think that's why I like pink, not necessarily because of the color itself.
right,
So it's kind of, yes, blind people have their favorite colors, even if they can't
right,
see them. It's just
right.
through other things that make them like those colors.
Right, something that they can identify with,
Yes,
so that's
yes.
awesome.
Hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, and then, I also seen, on your TikTok how you were talking about your journey, about your, blindness, and again, it's, retinitis pigmentosa,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
then as as you were in high school,
Hmm.
you had a friend who was always with you,
Yes.
right? And she would help you. You want
Yes.
to describe a little bit about, talk a little bit about it?
Okay, so I have been blessed enough to have two friends who were completely understanding about my vision. The first one, her name is Jennifer. We met at 12 years old. We was in middle school, seventh grade to be exact.
Okay.
I mean, she would tell you sixth grade, but I would say we became friends in seventh grade.
Okay.
And I think I masked through school. No one understood. No one knew. I seemed different, but they didn't know why.
Right.
So I think it was one I felt completely comfortable with her.
Right.
And for me, that a lot of kids call me Shaniece in school. So when I was comfortable, I'm like, my name is Shaniece, and I can't see. So and
Okay.
I
The
and I didn't know
comedian that
how
you
to
are.
because people. My mom is very New York, and
Yes.
I knew they would hear her eventually say Shaniece. So
Yes.
once we became really good friends, I felt like, okay, now I'm gonna tell you the real me.
Right.
And I never knew how to explain to them what I
Right.
couldn't see. It was
Right.
just I'm legally blind. I can't see that good, and
Right.
they just took it on themselves to whatever. So we would
Right.
do little, bad stuff. Go see boys and stuff like that.
Yes.
And at night I can't see anything, and of course, boys
Right.
they try to separate you. They try to pull
Right.
you you go with me and you go with me. But the one friend, Jennifer, would never let that happen. She's like, no, she's staying with me this whole time.
Right.
A lot of other friends felt like if I held on to them, that they would be seen as being gay.
Okay.
So they didn't like that. So
Okay.
it meant a lot for me to have those friends who were like, nah, girl, hold on to me. Come on, let's go. So,
Right.
and then in high school, of course, my friend Shantae, she, I would say she is everything I wanted to be. She was very
Okay.
outgoing, very confident.
Right.
She wasn't falling for boys easily like me, so she was very into schoolwork and stuff like that. And luckily for me, I had a new vision teacher by the time I got into 11th grade who was like, oh, you're having a tough time in classes, and I'm like, I can't read the notes, I can't read the boards, I can't do these things. And I wish, maybe in ninth grade, I had this friend who helped me with all that because we had two classes together. And she was like, okay, no problem. And she went to the front office and had her be in at least at the majority of my classes. Just to, so that was fun in, so many ways. Hey, I don't know if it's going to help me with schoolwork, but it's definitely going to help me be happy. So, yeah. So those, yeah, yeah, so that was amazing.
So it was good in a way because she was able to help you. So that's awesome. And now, in closing, I have my final question for you. If you had the attention of the whole world for 5 minutes, what would you say?
Okay. I think I would say that there is no such thing as normal or typical. We are all different, and we all have our different things about ourselves, whether you believe they're good or bad. Not all disabled people are sad about being disabled. A lot of us are comfortable with and understanding that this is the way that we are for a reason, whether, it was meant to tell you, Elba, about my vision, so then you can pass it on to, your grandson and things like that. It's for a reason. And I grew up, and I don't want to get, teary eyed or whatever, but I grew up not, and you saw me growing up, but I didn't have hobbies. I didn't think I was good at anything. I didn't understand why I was here. Like, why would God do this to me? What am I here for? And it wasn't until I met other blind people who gave me strength and understanding and knowing it's got to be for something. It wasn't for nothing. That I just wish that I was like this growing up. I didn't think I had any hobbies. I didn't know what I was going to be good at. Being a mom for me was everything. No one could tell me anything about being a mom. I did hear a lot of, "Oh, you're a good mom," and basically saying for a blind person, which is horrible. Because I'm just a mom, you know. But so what I would just want to tell just the world is we are different. Life is harder. Um, and what I also want to say to disabled people is something that I've realized recently is it is okay that people empathize about our life and about the things that we go through and want to help us and feel sorry for us because that's human nature. It's human for us to look at someone else who maybe have less than or be unable to do certain things and say, "Oh, poor them." Of course, you shouldn't say that out loud. Of course, you shouldn't, you know, do those kind of things or be condescending towards those people. Um, but just please do research. There's more things out there than just what you see on TV. If there was if there was an actor who had a blind child who was very famous, I feel like blindness would be out there more. Um, but because, like I said, it's typically we just have Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder kind of showing for us, and because they're men, I don't think that people give them enough credit or give blind people enough credit, and they think we're all musicians and they think we all move our head a certain way and they think that we all count our steps, but everybody's journey is different. And when you see a blind person, say hi, don't stare. They can't see you staring, but sometimes they can. But just say hi, you might meet a good friend.
Exactly. And get to know the person, right? Because you just never know. You might meet your new best friend.
Yeah, they still are who are. Like them. Yeah, I'm just Shaniece. I just have, these different details about myself, whether it's, oh, I have brown hair, brown eyes, and I just so happen to be blind. It doesn't make me who I am. It's a part of who I am. And I want to add that, you are very important in my life. Just a lot of things about you made me be the woman that I am today, the mom that I am today. I don't think that you really understand the impact. I feel like it wasn't long, but at the same time, it was forever. So I want you to know, thank you so much. Uh,
Oh, you're welcome. It was so good to be a part of that journey in your life.
because people don't know, but I used to hold on to your shoulder all the time. I was so much taller, but all that I just, every time going up there for the summer, I just always wanted to be with you. Uh, I talk to my friends now about your mashed potatoes, how I love them, and then you told me you put mayonnaise in them, and I was like, never again.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. You were eating my mashed potatoes, and now that you know there's mayonnaise in it, you don't want to eat it?
Yes, I laugh with my friends a lot about that situation. So yeah, because everything, I think when I think about it, all the things that I've been through in life, it stays embedded in my mind, in my head. Whether it was a smell, a sound, a feeling that I felt, those things, I might lose my vision, but I will never lose those kind of memories.
Right. And it's great that you'll be able to have those memories, right? And, when you used to come up north and stay with us and stuff like that, we wanted to make sure that you felt comfortable. We didn't want you to feel like you were different than anybody.
Hmm. Yes, definitely. You were like the in between my mom's side being like this and my dad's side being like this, and then it was you right in the middle. You and of course Angie. Y'all don't understand how much that really, really, really meant. It felt I didn't feel disabled. I didn't feel, like, and that's important to not feel disabled. I know I am, but I don't need no one else to remind me of that.
Exactly. And just get to know the person, know who they are, right? Beyond their condition.
Yeah, it's just about learning them. Like I said, if I'm telling you I can't see at night, you don't really have to watch me in the day. It's okay to, because I do have friends who, we're coming up on boxes and maybe they don't know if I know or not, and they'll be like, okay, come on, move to the left a little, things like that. That is okay. And of course at night, because it's funny with being disabled, we want you to know when to know, but don't know when not to know. You know what I mean? Like if if I can see it, don't bother me. But you won't know if I can see it. But I want you to know when I can't see it. So at nighttime, help me. Help me at night because I'm never gonna be able to see it at night. But at time, I'm fine unless I ask you for it. And my dad actually told me, he used to try to help me as an adult, and he said that I would say, "I don't need your help. I got it," and I would say it in such a nasty way, and that's what he said, and I realized that I wasn't trying to be nasty. It is maybe it came out that way because I'm just so used to having to have help that I don't. So that's something that I'm learning too. Is that it's okay if someone tries to help you when you don't need it, just say thank you and take that help. You don't have to tell them I can see it to prove something. And sometimes you want to show people like I got it.
Right. And then I feel like it's also like taking away your independence, right? You already know that you have things that you can't do. So it kind of feels like, you're losing control because they're taking away your independence by trying to do everything for you.
Sometimes being disabled try to fight for that independence anyway, because there's certain things I will never be able to do, like driving. So there's nothing I can do to drive. I mean, I can take an Uber, but I'm just taking, I'm spending more money. So if my boyfriend doesn't want to take me to the store, it's either pay the money or wait until he's ready to take me to the store. So yeah, it is trying to keep that independence, but don't be too hard on yourself.
Right. Don't be hard on yourself because we all need help once in a while in our lives, right? But Shanice, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I want to thank you for educating my audience. I want to thank you for creating awareness on your social media, talking about these things and everything that you go through and how you record everything on your social media. And so, for those who are looking for you, who want to get more information, please share your social media.
Yeah, they're all just Shanice or just Shaniece Nieves. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Kings, we do have a TikTok. It's called Shot SHOTTC 21. Um, so yeah, stay tuned because like I said, we're going to San Diego.
Oh my God, yes. I can't wait to see those videos and pictures of you guys in San Diego. I hope you all have a wonderful time. I can't wait to see that. Thank you.
Thank you. I love you too.
Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this podcast has educated you on people living with blindness. And please share this with others so that they can also get educated and learn more about people living with blindness. Bye.